talk about biodiversity, unabashedly and unashamedly. I wanted to start by introducing a few people here. My name is Woodley, and I'm one of the co-organizers of this stream, along with Penny Langhammer, wherever Penny is, Thomas Brooks, and Mark Hawking. Along with the four of us, we've been joined by a great group of people who are the session leads. And I would just like the session leads to kind of stand up for 1 minute so you can see who you are. All of the people who are leading on sessions here. So thank you so much. They're the group that's going to lead us through the next few days for Stream 1. Stream 1 is about reaching conservation goals, and we focused on one of the IACHI targets, but we understand fully that the IACHI targets, there's 20 of them, and we're happy to think about them all. Target 11 is the one strictly on protected areas, but we just want to acknowledge right from the start that there is a huge amount of interaction between all of these targets. All of the targets are important. We're focused on both the sea and the land in developing this stream. Most of the time when we talk about protected areas, this curve comes up in the conversation. This is the accumulation curve of protected areas on land and at sea, and this is one measure of conservation. People have criticized this, perhaps justifiably so, as a mismeasure of conservation, because it's not simply about area, and we're going to talk about that in this next few days. So as good news as this is in terms of the growth of protected areas, we have this bad news slide where we're seeing a decline in biodiversity. And it's critical that we go back to the very purpose of the IACHI targets. They're not the targets. Halting biodiversity loss is the target. And we're trying to use, so what we want to talk about in the next few days is really a protected area system that makes a contribution to halting biodiversity loss. So what is the relationship between these two things, this good news and bad news story? Why haven't protected areas, if we are indeed up to 15% of the planet, why have we not halted biodiversity loss? And I've got 3 reasons up on the slides here for why that might be the case. They certainly might not always be established in the right places, or even established for the purpose of halting biodiversity loss. They may not be working, and a large part of our discussion will be focused on this. Why aren't they working? Because they're not connected, they're not configured properly, because of other threats like poaching or disease, because of ineffective management. We're going to be spending a lot of time on the management effectiveness question. We're also going to be spending time looking at, are we even measuring whether or not these places are conserving biodiversity and making a difference in conserving biodiversity. And the final reason is that the total set of the protected area system may simply be inadequate or insufficient to halt biodiversity loss by itself. So what do we need in terms of larger targets? So I'm going to move now. We're going to open up with a video. And we all came here from different places, and we all had to explain to people who are not in the protected areas world why we were here. And this is, we put together a short video to kind of encapsulate why we think we're here. It's a cartoon video. The talking on it is fast, so you're going to have to pay attention to this. But this is our 3-minute take on why we are here.